So the other day I was browsing through Steam and I found this neat little free-to-play indie game called Emily's Away. In Emily's Away, you're in a Windows XP style AOL Instant Messenger talking with your friend Emily. When the game starts, you're both high school seniors just about to graduate, and it spans to your senior year of college. Throughout these 5 years, you go through your ups and downs of your relationship with this girl, Emily. Now, this video is going to be full of spoilers, because to get what I really want to talk about, I need to talk about everything about this game. Now again, this game is free to play on Steam, so if you don't want any spoilers, just go play it. It takes about a half hour to get through. Definitely worth playing it. If you want a review, that's it. It's worth playing, go try it out. If you trust my opinion, at least. But for the rest of you, let's just go right along and talk about this plot, okay? Okay.
You play as yourself, basically. You choose your own username and real name, plus your AIM icon. You'll then start the first chapter where you and Emily reflect on the end of high school, and what the future will hold for you. You have the option to choose from response 1, 2, or 3. After you choose your response, you mash on the actual keyboard to which the game will slowly type it out, which was a cool little thing about the game I really liked. You'll then be given options to go to a graduation party at a guy named Travis's house. I decided that I was going to go to the party, and the chapter ends. In Chapter 2, it's our freshman year of college, and Emily wants to know how things are. I tell her I'm great. Business school is going grand. She mentions that she's going out with Brad, a character from the previous chapter went to high school with you. I'm supportive, even after she mentions they fight a lot. I say that's normal, and the chapter ends without much going on. At the start of Chapter 3, Emily will ask you about your weekend plans. I said I'm going to hang out with a girl named Emma, who I call just a friend. Emily mentions that she's broken up with Brad, and because of their shared friend, she feels lonely and depressed. Emily then decides to ask why at the senior party you both went to after Chapter 1 I didn't kiss her on our walk through a park. We both reflect on what might have happened, and she then immediately asks to come over and spend some time with me. I say yes, knowing that I should be there for her, so I tell her I'll talk to Emma and cancel our plans so I can hang out with Emily. She asks if she should bring alcohol, and I decline, but she then comes over and we hang out around campus. Then in Chapter 4, you learn that you hooked up that night, but she feels as though you emotionally manipulated her, saying you knew what was going to happen and that you took advantage of her when she was at her weakest, which you can admit was your agenda or deny it. Either way, it doesn't really affect much besides your own perception of your character. The chapter then ends after you talk about Emma briefly. By the time Chapter 5 rolls around, I figured this wasn't going to end well. And I was entirely right. It turns out that Emily is dating that dick Brad again, and now that it's their senior year of college, they plan on finding jobs and moving in together. But by now, your relationship has soured, and Emily seems short and distant with you. So you get options to demand her to talk to you seriously so that you can repair your damaged relationship, but every time you type it out, you delete it and ask some boring question like movies they've seen recently. Then one of your 3 options turns to goodbye, but another turns to another plea to fix your relationship. I chose to try and fix it. I began to type it out, but I deleted again and asked another boring question. You're unable to muster up the courage to sort things out. Your feelings are a mix of guilt, and rejection, and cowardness. Now 2 of the 3 options are goodbye, and the third a final chance to salvage this. You type it out, knowing this is your final chance to fix your damaged relationship. But you buckle again, deleting it, and asking another boring question. You blew it. It's done. There's no more chances. There's no more attempts. It's all over. There's only one option left. Goodbye. Now, when I initially played through it, that last part hit me pretty hard. I was young once, chatting up girls in high school and middle school on MSN Messenger or MySpace, but I connected with that weakness of not being able to say what you want, that fear to be bold, that I'm sure many people can connect with. So I had a very positive reaction initially to this game.
But then I chose to try and get a different ending, which is when I found a lot of my problem. You see, there's only really one other ending. In Chapter 3, when she asks you should come and hang out, you have 3 options. You can either tell her yes, it's okay to come over, not put any stipulations on it, and you'll hook up, like I did in my first playthrough. Or you can tell her it's only going to be as friends. You can come over, we can hang out, but nothing's going to happen. Or 3, you say no, we can't hang out. We're not going to do that. Now in Chapter 4, if you pick the other 2 choices that I didn't in my first playthrough, she's either going to think you abandoned her and didn't want her over in her time of need, or that she came over as a friend and she clearly wanted you and you didn't make a move. Either way, she's going to start pushing you out of her life and just stop talking to you. Now this really disappointed me because when I look back at the game, it means only one decision truly matters for how you get your ending. Either you choose option A, which is what most people I think would choose, which is she comes over and you hook up. Or you choose the other 2 options and get the second ending, where she just doesn't want to be around you anymore. Sure, there's small differences that could happen if you choose different things. Like if you say you hate Coldplay, she won't talk about any music. If you don't go to the party, she might end up with Travis instead of Brad. There are different things that can happen, but none of it really affects the core story or core gameplay, which to me kind of ruined the choosing of the choose your own adventure aspect of this game that I really enjoyed in my first playthrough. You decide the outcomes of things. You determine whether you're having fun at college, whether your friends are cool, what's going on with your relationships. You decide that. You project that onto that. Now, I can understand that that's true in the way that we project onto other people how our lives are going. But when you play a game, I want a reaction to an action, especially with the choose your own adventure game. I think that's one of the most important parts, is making a decision and seeing the reactions of your decisions. That's why I love the Telltale games, especially my favorite, The Wolf Among Us. Every decision you make changes the story. Now, of course, they have a set narrative, and they have only so much things they can do with it because of their budget and all this stuff. But you decide how the characters are, what characters are there, and how everything comes around. And Emily is a way you don't really have much choice. There's never a real reaction to your actions, which I think kind of makes all the choices hollow. The only reaction to the action you have is whether you hook up with Emily, and that is the only one. There's nothing else. There are 2 endings to this game, and they're all decided on one choice. Now, this complaint is tempered by the fact that I understand it's a free-to-play indie game. There's only so much time and effort that can go into one person making a game, or a small group, but it still does affect how I look at the game. Now, I had a lot of fun in my first playthrough, and I thought the concept, the ideas, the style, everything was really cool, and the storytelling in the first playthrough was really fun. But it loses a lot if you try to play through it again and get different endings, because you understand how everything is scripted and set in stone, right? There's no nuance or different reactions to what you're saying. What I want the most out of this is I want a full version of this game. Maybe something that adds a little more, like, you can talk to other people on your friends list. Like, maybe when they're going through a rough patch, you can talk to Brad and you can get his side of the story. Maybe those sides of the story can be different, and you have to decide whose story is what. And the different conversations and different things you have affect other characters and affect the endings you have. It could be a lot more of a branching story path that I think could be a lot of fun. And I see a lot of potential in this idea and in this game, and I really like that about it. Thinking about how this game could expand is really exciting because there's a lot that can be done with this concept. And I really hope more is done because I would definitely pay for a full version of this game. But in the end, those are just my complaints, those are just my ideas. It's just my opinion. So I would love to hear what other people think about this game, if you've played it, what you thought about it. Tell me what you think. I would love to hear other ideas about this, because talking about this kind of stuff is really exciting to me. So, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.
Hey kids, it's Skanky the Whale, Skanky King of the 7 Seas. Swings his arms and kicks his legs from here to eternity.